Yo, what's up, everyone? Today I'm doing another tier list, and this one is going to be one of the highest paid players for every single team in the league. So I guess the S tier is going to be the best deals, the D tier is going to be the worst ones. So we will be seeing which of the deals I think are good and which of the ones are not so good. So first, maybe I'll do the D tier first. I would say that Kevin Love is that's a D tier level deal for the Cavaliers because Kevin Love's getting older, and since the team isn't really in playoff contention, or at least they're not, gonna make the finals or a deep playoff run at all, even if they do make the playoffs. I don't think it's necessary to pay a player like Kevin Love $31 million per year. This money could probably be better spent for some young players that will help the franchise in the future. Another deal that I think is bad is John Wall, $44.3 million this year. Pretty much the reason why I think John Wall should not be paid this much is because I don't even think he's playing at the moment. I'm not exactly sure what the issue with him is currently. And I think it's pretty much the same thing as Kevin Love. Wall is probably not going to lead the Rockets to, a deep playoff run or anything. And I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs this year. So that money might be better spent with a younger guy. The next one in the D tier is Brandon Ingram. I don't think this is a good deal for the Pelicans because I don't think Ingram has even been playing very good lately, and the Pelicans are at the bottom of the Western Conference. So maybe it was one of those things where they have to give someone the money, so they're going to give it to him. But it is a bit crazy to see that Brandon Ingram is making more money than Jason Tatum or DeMar DeRozan, as he's not really close to their caliber of player. I'm going to put Jokic at the top tier as he is making $31.6 million this year. I think this is a really good deal since he is arguably the best, or he's at least one of the best players in the league. I think it's a pretty good deal. Looking at players like Tobias Harris and like Jimmy Butler, he's definitely better than them and he's making less money. So I think that's a good deal. I would then say DeMar DeRozan for $26 million is a really good deal. In the D tier, I'm going to put Russell Westbrook. He's making $44 million this year, which I guess then is more than LeBron and Anthony Davis, which is pretty crazy considering he's definitely not as good as those players. And the Lakers probably could have got a player for 15 or $20 million that would have helped their team more than Russell Westbrook. In the B tier, I'm going to put Julius Randle. Next, Devin Booker, $31.7 million this year, I think is probably one of the best deals in the league. The Suns are one of the top teams in the Western Conference, and Booker probably is one of the best guards in the league altogether, and he's only going to get better as the years goes on. He's still pretty young, so I think $31.7 million is a really good deal for him considering how good they've been playing lately. In the B tier, I'm going to put James Harden, which may be one of the more debatable ones of all because I think since they already have Kevin Durant and maybe they'll get Kyrie at the end of the year, I don't know if James Harden is even needed for that team or if they could just get a couple other role players that are making, 15, $20 million that could elevate their team more. Harden's also been declining in his play, and I'm pretty sure he's only averaging like 20 points a game this year, so they could definitely get those 20 points from someone else. Then the next one is Paul George. I'd also say that's a B tier. I think that's pretty average, and I think it's for the same reason as I put James Harden there. Paul George is, of course, a really good player, but I'm not sure if the Clippers even need a player that good to be paired with Kawhi Leonard to make a deep playoff run. I think if the Clippers had a couple other good like role players instead of Paul George, they would do just as good in the playoffs. Considering that Kawhi Leonard took the Raptors to the finals and won, I think that says enough for itself that he might really not need Paul George, but that's just my opinion on it. The next one, I'm going to say 15 million dollars a year. It's going to have to be in the S tier. If you're the best player on a team and you're making $15 million a year, I'd say that's definitely warranted. And then, 9.7 million. It's crazy that the Thunder, that's the most they're paying a player on their team, 9.7 million. but good for them, I guess, if they're getting away with it. So I would definitely then have to put him in the S tier. I'm gonna put Steven Adams in the C tier. He's making 17 million a year, which is definitely on the lower side for these players, but I don't think he's averaging the best stats. I think he's getting like 7 points per game and about 9 rebounds a game, which is, I guess, okay for a center, but for the highest paid player on a team, you should probably be doing a bit more. Then I'm going to put Tobias Harris also in the C tier. Same with Siakam. And I'm even going to put Gordon Hayward in the C tier as well. Those are probably a bit more than they should be getting, considering how much they bring to the table for their team and how their teams are doing. I mean, the Sixers are definitely doing better than the Raptors and Hornets, but he's not the best player on the team for sure. And I don't know if he should be getting that much. I think he's probably actually more of like a $20 million a year player, maybe even 15. I'm going to put Gary Harris in the D tier. He's getting 20 million a year. I really don't know too much about him, but looking at his stats, he's not even starting every game for the Magic, and he's getting under 10 points a game. He's not even getting like 2 assists or 3 rebounds, so he definitely shouldn't be getting $20 million a year, and that might be the worst person on this list. I would put Brogdon as, I'd actually put him in the A tier. I do like Brogdon. I'd also put Jerami Grant in the A tier. No, I'd put actually both of them in the B tier. A might be a bit too generous, but I do like those players, and I think they're underrated. I would put De'Aaron Fox also in the B tier, and then John Collins. I would put in A. I would put him in the A tier because I think he has a lot of potential. Porzingis, I would put in the B tier, just because I'm not exactly sure if he's been playing up to his potential as of lately. I'd also put Karl Anthony Towns, pretty much same as Porzingis. Bradley Beal, 34 million. I thought he was getting more than that actually. I'm gonna put him in the A tier. I would then put Giannis S tier automatically. Same with Steph Curry, even though he's the highest paid player. Then Damian Lillard, I'm gonna put in the A tier just because the team hasn't been doing as good this year, but Lillard is, still a very great player. I would put Rudy Gobert in the. I think I put him in the A tier because he's doing a lot for the Jazz, and I think he's a really underrated player. I would put Jimmy Butler in the A tier because he is the Heat's best player, and they're a pretty good team. And then finally, I would put Jason Tatum in the A tier for his contract, 28.1 million per year. The Celtics could be playing better, but he is still a really good player, and 28 million seems pretty fair for him. Let me know what you think of this list, and remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. And thank you for watching.